Show today is the superintendent of Jackson Public Schools, Jeff Beal. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am doing well.
Back to school, crazy first week.
I've been doing this 30 years. I've been a superintendent for, I don't know, 15, 16 of those, and I've never had anything like this. Just absolutely bizarre as you're sitting there Tuesday, the day before kids are coming, and it's 9:15, and we're finishing our show, and when the phone rings and says, "Hey, the EPA wants to talk to you directly," and they said, "Huh?" Phone's gonna ring. So 2 minutes later, the phone rings, and I'm talking to the EPA. Yeah, and of course, what you hear is you're gonna have to shut down because you don't know if the ash and debris is hazardous, and I already know, like, it's 9:20, and I'm going, I got to make this, we got to get this going because people are gonna have to make, new plans for Wednesday, and of course, there you go, right? And then, crazy hot, super heat, and of course, it's been warm this week, so we're hoping for a little bit of a weather break here in the next couple of days. And then that storm that came through on Thursday, it was like, hey, we're heat, and then we're going to close because power outage at half the buildings at Jackson Public Schools. So 2 snow days, if you will, two snow days in the first week of school. It's certainly something to keep me young.
Yeah, and it was super hot. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's eventful first week.
You know what? We got the kids back. They're here. We got great staff. They're wrapping their arms around it. I love what this year is going to bring. And so it's funny to talk about the first week and how crazy it was, but we're bursting at the seams in some of our classrooms. It's so much fun to see all the kids in. I was in 3 buildings today, so it's crazy beginning of the year, but we're kind of cruising through some of the speed bumps, if you will.
So first of the year, you always have the busing, working through issues, and
I said speed bumps, right?
Yeah.
I gave you that lead in there. Come on, Bart. Yeah, transportation, 2 things. We're always looking for drivers. So if you are interested in driving, please give us a shout. We pay pretty decent money, and it's a great way to work with kids, get some solid cash in your pocket. And we do all the training. So you come down, we'll train you on how to be a bus driver and get you out on the road, and that certainly will help us out. But I always caution folks. I said 2 things at the beginning of the year, and we always, it just seems like we're always running into this as the computer system rolls over and folks move around the district and change address, and sometimes it's not even just a change of address, it's just a glitch in the computer system. But I always ask people, just be patient. My goal is really to have transportation kind of ironed out by next week, and everybody's going, well, Jeff, we're into the 3rd week, so why isn't it ironed out today? I literally was meeting about it yesterday twice, so we're on it kind of on a daily basis, and really what we need is about 48 hours for each kid, right? So if Bart enrolls in school today, what happens is we put your information into the system. Then tonight, the system goes up to the cloud and it talks to the other system. So tomorrow, the other system's got your information, and it goes out and routes you into where the route's supposed to go. And then it's got to go back up into the cloud the following night and come back down, and that's how 48 hours later we can get you a bus stop. And then we're working out some communication kinks to make certain that when we get everybody routed and we get everybody on those buses, that they know when the buses are coming to their house. So transportation is always, it's not a taxi service or an Uber service where you can pick up the phone and say, I want the bus here at this time. It's, there's 5,000 students in JPS, and we're transporting a good percentage of those on about 38 runs twice in the morning and 38 runs twice in the afternoon. So, there's a lot of moving pieces out there.
Do you have an idea of what the percentage is of the student population that is bused?
About 60%. About 60% of our students arrive by bus still. It's a much smaller percentage than it used to be, but that's because parents are driving their kids to school more than they used to.
Yeah. Especially Sharp Park.
Really all of our buildings. The number of parents who bring their kids to school And I was guilty of it. I brought my kids to work. When I went to work, they jumped in the car.
Sure.
I just kind of pushed them out the door as we drove through the parking lot. You know,
Hey, if you can do it, yeah, why not?
they survived.
You got some new, besides some new staff driving buses, you've got some new staff running the buildings.
Yeah, yeah. We, make it through the school year, and I think I jinxed myself because we were into August, and life just happens like that. And Phil Van Allen was a good friend of mine. He was principal over at Northeast. He took a job out with Kevin Oxley at the Career Center for the Jackson County Intermediate School District. And that kind of started some dominoes shuffling. So Sandy Martin, a longtime JPS employee, she was the assistant principal at Northeast, where Phil was, and so Sandy took over as the lead principal there. And then Bradley Jane, and Bradley was a longtime music teacher. He started up at Jackson High School last year as an assistant principal. Really wanted to go that administrative route, but he's an elementary guy and very much wanted to be back in the elementaries, and so he went over to backfill Sandy, so he's now an assistant over there. So that building is set, but then we got to figure out what we're doing with Bradley Jane's position up at Jackson High. And Joe Zesson. Now, Joe was an assistant principal under Barb Baird-Pauley a number of years ago. He did around at a couple of buildings. He was a principal over at Frost for a little bit and a principal over at Dibble for a little bit, and then went back into the classroom. So I am super excited to have Joe back. He said, Jeff, I'm ready. I want to get in. And, of course, I know the quality that Joe brings to the table, so he's a great fit for Jackson High School, and so he's back as the assistant principal, right back where he started. What a great opportunity.
Well, it's going to be convenient for him. Swim coach in the building, right?
Well, the coaching is a teaching position, so if no teachers take it, then Joe would potentially be able to continue on, but it has to go to teachers first. That's the way that position will roll out. But Joe is
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll see how that works.
So we mentioned Sharp Park because we've had a new parking lot added hours before school opened.
Yeah, we do. Sharp Park construction continues. In fact, we're open. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing in there, and obviously you get torrential downpours in the heat like it is today, and that changes some of the working conditions too. But the bridge is up, and the elevator is in. Thankfully, we got the elevator in, and I think the building inspector was scheduled to be back out on site next week. If that happens, that'll make the bridge fully functional.
Is it the bridge that goes between the two buildings that was there before?
Yep. Well, the bridge is all new, if you will, because we put a lift in to accommodate ADA accessibility. So now a lift will take up, and that way there's a wheelchair access to that second portion of the building. So that's been put in place, and so it just a lot of those pieces. We're going to be, I get it. Construction is just dirty and it's inconvenient. We'll be better because of it. And we have been, if you take a look at the projects across the district, it didn't matter. Every one of us every building's taken their turn at being kind of inconvenienced, starting way back when with Northeast. And this is where we're at with Sharp Park. Those will get better and the construction will continue. And then, like I said, it's slow going. I just not as fast as you'd like, but I'll take right over fast. So let's just keep doing things one step at a time.
It really is the light at the end of the tunnel because it is the final piece of the bond.
It is the final piece of the bond, no doubt about it.
We have someone in the Jackson Public Schools family that is being honored later this month.
Yeah, Andy Sheridan.
Andy Sheridan. Well, there he is.
Yeah, there's Andy right now. I run into him every once in a while, and he was a teacher here when I was here. He was coach here when I was here. He's been around a long time, and but he's going up Jackson Public Schools Wall of Fame, and that event is going to be at our homecoming game at halftime. So prior to the homecoming, there'll be a celebration, I think, for Andy coming up. But at the homecoming event, there's a basketball game with the alumni that come back and play, and halftime of that alumni game, Andy will be recognized for his contributions. And he's a state Hall of Fame coach. I mean, this guy's kind of done it all, and we're really thrilled to be able to say thank you to Andy and honor
I
Andy.
think it's great honor, very appropriate. Andy coached the boys basketball at Jackson High for 27 seasons. Also coached the girls varsity basketball for 5 or 6. As you mentioned, he's in the Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame in the state of Michigan, Michigan High School Coaches Association Hall of Fame. He was one of the first recipients of the Jackson College Martin Luther King Jr. Medal of Service, and the list goes on and on.
On and on.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
He's
really
a great
is.
guy. Yeah. Congratulations, Andy.
Yep, and I hope you'll come out and help us celebrate.
Awesome. All right, so that's coming up on September 22nd.
Yep, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. Nice. High school fall sports in full swing.
Literally everything from golf and soccer, and then everybody likes to talk football. We picked up a nice win last week, and then we're on the road again this week, back down to Tecumseh. That'll be a real good game, and I expect our Vikings are going to go down and make us proud. So, but no, there's something going on all the time. Whether it's tennis, soccer, you got the schedule up here on the event calendar, but you see that lots of away this week. JV football is home. And then we're away again, so more away than home this week. But hopefully, everybody will get in the car and drive down to Tecumseh and help us cheer our Vikings on down there.
Yeah. So we've got the Pink Viking game earlier this year. It's actually next week, next Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. We're on the road again we're home next week. I think we're home next week. So. But yeah, Pink Viking that week, that night to help celebrate what we got going on there. What a fun event for our kids, and so I'm hoping to get folks out for that one as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, it's going to be a great year to be a Viking. It really is. Like I said, we continue to grow. Our programs are continuing to enroll kids even today. There was a line over at South Central Michigan Virtual for folks coming in, and we're doing orientations 2 times a day, both in person and virtual. So even if you can't come in, you can get your orientation done and then get your classes going that way. That program, about 550 kids plus or minus
Wow.
are taking classes through that program, and that program gets them access to the Career Center or to our early college programming. Certainly will get them a Michigan Merit Diploma. So it's really one of those pieces where we're continuing to see growth, and we see a lot of folks that we're meeting their needs where they're at. We kind of think about education as something that just, this is the pattern of how it's always been. And when we look at a program like South Central Michigan Virtual, it's a good opportunity for us to meet the family, meet that market-driven economy, if you will, meet that education system where people are asking for it. So, but I hope you'll visit our buildings. If you don't know how to get a hold of us, 517-841-2200 will get a hold of us, and then we'll get you in the right program. We'll get you to a building, let you see what we got, because there's literally something for everybody.
Good deal. To all the Viking family, have a great, safe, and productive school year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great year to be a Viking.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jackson Public Schools Superintendent, Jeff Beal.
Thanks.